Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Thank you for joining us. I am here this evening with Dr. Beyer and Christy Jones, and we are so excited to share some really fun and really great ideas for you guys to improve your brain health. So welcome, Dr. Beyer, and welcome, Christy.
Hello. This is fun to be here together.
Absolutely. So excited to have you here. And I know there's people that were looking forward to this. And so I know we're going to have a really good time. As always, everyone, please jump in. If you have questions, if you have comments, then we want to see those because we want to be able to share as much with you as we can. So that's a lot of the fun for us as well. So, and I see we've got a few people already on with us. Mike, glad to have you on. Larry, hello. Johanna, great to have you here. Thanks for coming on, you guys. So one of the things that I wanted to do right up front was kind of give you guys an idea of what we're talking about tonight. And we've been planning for this for a couple of weeks now. And really what we felt like was we wanted people to understand the connection that our brain has with our bodies and how we can utilize that connection to improve our overall well-being. And so that's what we're going to be touching on and just having fun while we do it. So thank you for being here with us. And one of the things I kind of wanted to share with you first was a really fun technique that I learned the last time I went to a Tony Robbins event. So if you've ever been to a Tony Robbins event, you know it's incredibly high energy. You literally are on your feet for like 10 to 12 hours a day. It's pretty much nonstop. And it is like the most fun you will have at doing something super productive for your body and for your mind and for your spirit. I mean, it's just incredible. And one of the things that he teaches there is this priming exercise. And so you can actually watch this on YouTube. I'm going to share just a little of it with you so you can kind of see what it's like. And I will tell you, I did this starting as soon as I was done with that event. I started doing it every day. And this really was a game changer for me. It totally changed my mornings and really got me up and going in the morning in a way that I just never had the energy to do. And so I felt like this would be really valuable for a lot of you. I will kind of warn you up front. You're gonna watch this and you're gonna think this looks silly. I know the first time I did it, it's different when you're doing it with 10,000 people, which I was at the event. But, when you're doing it at home by yourself, you're kind of like, if anyone walks in right now, they're going to think I've really lost it.
It must be good.
That's when you know you're on track. When people think you've lost it, you know you're on track.
Yeah, right. But I assure you, the more you do it, the more you'll see the results and the more you'll be glad that you tried. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can play this. Hopefully I'm going to figure out how to do this the right way. I've never quite done it before. So we're going to go for it here. So bear with me for just a minute and I will put this up for us.
Feel centered, feet flat on the ground, back straight, but comfortable, nothing on your lap. And we're going to start by 3 sets of 10 breathing. Close your eyes, hands come up, here we go. Stop. Hands flat on your lap. Up. Just notice what you feel. You feel some tingling anywhere in your body? You feel relaxed? A sense of peace? Notice what you feel and appreciate it, whatever it is. Little or big, doesn't matter. There you go. All right, your eyes stay closed. We're going to do 3 more sets of 10. Here we go. Next up, on your lap. Relax. Just notice what you feel. More sets of 10. Nice go. So we go. Breathe hard up the nose. Up and out. Stop. Stop. Next time we give ourselves this moments away. We live with.
All right. Myself and everyone else here.
Hey, we're back.
At least most of us. There we are. All right, so that kind of gives you a sense of what it's like. And as you can see, when you're watching the video, you can almost kind of feel the energy of that event, which is really what's kind of fun. So I'm actually going to post the link for that in the comments so you guys can go back to this and reference it later. There are a lot more steps, and it does take you about 15 minutes. So I really wanted to share that just because I think there's a lot of people that aren't aware that it's there, and it's free. And it is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that, Pam. I was not aware of that exercise, and there's so much value. Once again, even just that, I mean, you can tell when you bring your arms up like that, yeah, is powerful. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you guys have some things that you're prepared to share as well. So we'll just kind of rotate here. If you've got something you want to share next, just jump in.
Absolutely. Dr. Everett, did you want to go next, or do you want me to jump in and let's talk a little bit?
Many things we want to do when we to stimulate the brain. As we stimulate our senses, we're going to be stimulating the brain. And you can do everything from dancing to singing. So we might be singing and dancing. So I don't know. Stay tuned. Don't go away. Not for long. I won't sing forever. And other things such as to stimulate the vagus nerve. But you want to keep it fun and active. One thing is just listening to music in itself. Music itself stimulates the auditory nerve or one of the cranial nerves, and that is stimulating particular areas of the brain. So certainly music, exercise of any kind is going to stimulate the joints, it's going to stimulate the muscles, the spindle fibers, and all these other sensory inputs into the brain. The kids are very good at doing these things, but also as people get older, it's important to bring about these types of sensory things. For instance, one thing you start doing with your kids and even yourself is just to stand up and stand on your leg. Lift the other leg up and try to hold your arms out then and hold it for 30 seconds. By
the way, if you're sitting down, this is a good time to stand up. And
this is your invitation to move.
That's right.
Stand up, stand on one leg, just lift your other leg up, bend the knee, hold your arms out, and stay there for 30 seconds. That stimulates your balance. And switch legs now.
Yes.
Do the other side.
If you don't necessarily have good balance, then make sure you have something you can grab onto. Don't fall over. Right. We don't need anybody hurting themselves here either.
Start with 5 seconds or 10 seconds.
Bring them up on one leg.
Okay. Do you have weights?
We're bringing our arms up.
There you go. There you go. Get your hand-eye coordination. Other side, back again. Arms up and down. So this stimulates areas of the brain. It stimulates the sensory receptors, the proprioception, sensory sensors of the nerve endings that has to do with positioning of the ligaments and tendons across the joints. So make it fun.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Wow, I love this. I've always worked with the balancing, but I've never put the arm movements in with that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes. Okay.
A great combination.
Yeah, and one of the things that I love doing when we're putting these movements in is helping us be in the present moment.
Very good.
The more that we can train our mind to be present versus being in the past or the future, that's a powerful life skill in general. And what's so fun is, I mean, you can do that in meditation. You can also do it with the movements that you choose to incorporate as well. So with that, are we ready to do a little mindfulness game that helps to bring us into the present moment? And some of you might have played this with me before. It's still one of my favorites. Make sure that you're in a place where you have some space for your arms, where you can clap forward, that you can clap above your head, right? And that you're in a place that you're standing so you can actually tap under your leg as well. So we'll do this in 2 parts. So follow along. We're going to clap 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you feel that stretch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good, right? And I love it because this is actually stretching your body and opening up the meridians, which are our energy flow centers. Now, the next step is you're going to go under your leg, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's go. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you ready to put it together?
Yes.
And what's wonderful, this is great for kids, but it's great for adults as well.
Yes.
And are you noticing that you're needing to bring your attention here? Okay. Okay, so let's put it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. So
I feel like I'm like back in, dance team or something where we're like, okay, first time on the routine.
right. Yeah, it's like you're learning. Now, the fun thing is you can add your times tables, right? You can be 2, 4, 6, 8. And how often do we practice our timetables as we get older? And we're talking about brain health, building new neural connections in our brain. So what this is doing is it's bringing you into the present moment, but it's opening up that energy flow in our meridians in our arms and our legs. We're also crossing left and right. So you're connecting the left and the right side of the brain from that simple movement. Okay.
Very good.
Okay. Do you have another one for us, Pam?
I love, and I wanted to just add this. I love that, when we're doing these, and going back to what you were saying earlier, that we kind of get that mind-body connection, that we start to feel what we're doing in our bodies. I think sometimes we forget how important it is for our bodies to be doing something very active.
Yes.
So, and yes, and in correlation with what you're talking about, so connecting those 2 sides of our brain are part of that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this is an exercise that's very, very easy to do, and it does that same exact thing. And you're gonna recognize this as marching in place. Mm-hmm. But the thing you want to keep in mind is that you're just using the alternating arm for your alternating leg. So it's your left leg up and your right leg up at the same time. So it's this, and then opposite.
I'm trying to see your legs.
So yeah, and I can't skip back too much further, but so left leg up with your right arm.
Okay, then, so you're opposite, you're opposite.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you want to do this for about 1 minute.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Let's do it. So I hope everyone's playing along with us.
So what's that?
I said, I hope everyone is marching along with us.
That's right. This is a quick, easy way if you've been,
left brain, right brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah. If you've been sitting very long, and you just need to get up and kind of get the blood flowing too, it's a great way to do that as well.
And here's the thing, you will never see a grumpy person walking like this.
So true.
As you move your body, you feel a difference in your energy and in your emotional state.
Yes.
Absolutely. And you'll kind of feel it, as you do it, you'll start to feel your arms like swing a little easier, feel a little lighter.
Yes.
And that's your energy shifting. Larry says he's marching along. I love it.
You know what? I think it would be fun if we did more of our Facebook Lives, more of our Zoom calls like this. Like, everybody get up and move.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Christopher says he thought this was about fertility, so I hope he's not too disappointed.
Right. Well, when you do this, it will help with fertility. If you're
Yes, exactly.
right. And even after doing that, put one hand on your heart, one hand on your abdomen, take a couple deep breaths in, and check in with your body. And what do you notice after doing those simple movements?
A heartbeat.
Right. So you definitely feel your body calming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anybody else want to comment in the comments? Let us know what you notice just from these simple movements. And what's so powerful about these is you can do them throughout the day.
Yeah.
Exactly. And even just putting your hand on your heart, like if you're feeling really stressed, just that. If that's all you can do at that moment, just do that.
Yes.
Just do that. And a couple of deep breaths and envision that light coming in. And I talk about this fairly often. Mm-hmm. Just envision that light coming in, big deep breaths, and then just letting the stress out. Mm. So big deep breath in, all that light coming in with it. Let it go up into your head. Mm. Give it a color if you want. Make it, if you have a favorite color, make it your favorite color, or make it violet or whatever, and then just breathe out the stress. And, this is another quick, easy little, not maybe a lot of people are familiar with even just child's pose from yoga. Very, very simple child's pose. It's really just start out on your hands and knees, and then just kind of like you're bowing with your arms out in front of you. Mm-hmm. So you'll start hands and knees, and then just kind of drop back and let your arms stretch out, and just, like you're praying, like, like we traditionally think of people like bowing in that prayer position. And that can be a great way to do the same thing, to just really let you ground and bring that heart rate down and let you feel that calm a little bit.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And you know what? One exercise I would love to, that actually kind of the Tony Robbins exercise was reminding me of, would you like to do the Dr. Bush 4-minute workout? Are you familiar with this, Dr. Everett?
No, I am not.
Would you like to learn it?
Sure.
Okay, so once again, we're going to stand with our feet shoulder width apart. And there's going to be 4 movements. So the first movement is a squat. So you're just going to squat whatever amount that you can. If you have a limitation, then don't squat as much. But we're going to do 10 squats. Then we're doing 10, I call them robots. So you're doing 10 robots. And then you're making your fish. You're going to do 10 circles. So you're bumping your hands above your head and then down here. And then 10 arm raises. And we want to do 3 sets of 10. Does that sound good?
Wow.
Sounds great.
And what this is doing is it's a nitric oxide dump. And maybe after we do this, Dr. Everett, you can talk more about what nitric oxide is if you want to share with everybody.
Beautiful.
Okay, so let's get started. Feet shoulder width apart. And let's go ahead. I'll count everybody out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now a robot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Arm raises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next set. Awesome job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Arm raises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! What do you notice in your body?
Christopher says, I hear Olivia Newton-John. I know. I felt like a little Richard Simmons there for a moment. I just kind of got caught up. I was like, we need some music for this.
And so the power of that exercise is it's designed by Dr. Zach Bush. And it's designed to work 16 different muscle groups, but to release nitric oxide, which is powerful for your brain for building lean muscle. And once you deplete your nitric oxide, it's going to replenish in a couple hours. If you do this 2, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, it's meant to replace a gym workout. This was created for middle-aged women that couldn't lose weight. And they found that they had better results doing this 4-minute workout throughout the day than going to the gym.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. Well, and here's another one that isn't necessarily going to be, we'll let you like catch your breath here for a moment. Isn't going to be quite as physically intensive, but will still, again, help you reconnect the two sides of your brain and also help you to de-stress a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, and this one's really simple too. You can stand up to do it, but you can also do it sitting down. Mm-hmm. And so you're just going to grab over your opposite shoulder and just kind of firmly, you just drag it down diagonal over your body. And then you're going to grab the other shoulder and do the same thing. And do this 3 times. And so what this does is sometimes our energy kind of gets a little clogged up. It's not really flowing the way we want it to. And so it helps to release that, and it helps us, again, connect those two sides of the brain. So it gets our energy flowing a little bit better. So that's a quick, easy one as well.
Yeah, I love those simple tips that you can do. I mean, you could literally do that, like if you're stuck in traffic and you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You can literally, at a stoplight, you can put these things into place.
And these are really great in the morning. Again, you know, if you're doing the priming routine, that's awesome. You're going to feel pretty energized from that. But these are some other ones you can try. And you can also do some simple tapping on your body along with that. Yeah. And there's a few little tapping tricks you can use before you even get out of bed. And you'd be amazed. Like within a few minutes, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm good to go. Mm-hmm. So if you feel underneath your collarbone, there's just that little bit of kind of space, almost an indentation right there. Mm-hmm. So you want to tap that space. And we'll just tap it for 30 seconds. You can do it longer. You don't necessarily need to, but if you're really groggy, really sleepy, do it for a minute.
Yeah.
You know?
Pam, does your breathing need to be in any certain way?
No, and you know how most of us are in the morning. You know, I mean, our breathing's a little slower anyway because we haven't really woken up yet.
Mm-hmm. This also helps get the lymph flowing into this area.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Big lymph ducts empty into this area.
Right. And then now, ladies, this next one can be a little challenging for you. It's going to be right under your bust line. But this is really good. This is called the spleen point.
Mm.
So that's going to be your next point. And again, just 30 seconds or so. You can do it a little longer if you're feeling groggy,
Okay.
if you're sleepy. You just, one of those mornings you just don't want to get up. Maybe it's rainy out. Give yourself a little bit more time.
Mm-hmm. And
I think that's part of this too. I think, a lot of these techniques go hand in hand with the mindfulness and self-care, and just, allowing ourselves that time to take care of us.
Yeah.
Very good.
And once again, they fit anywhere. So you don't want to get out of bed, just start your tapping.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're bringing yourself more present. You're supporting your body, different organs in your body by doing this.
Blood flow.
Yes, right.
And the basic.
It aids in lymph flow, and then your last spot is going to be your thymus, which is kind of what they call the Tarzan spot, right? And he taps this point on purpose because it kind of energizes him. It gives him that kind of power behind what he's doing.
Pam, do you recommend putting a noise? Like usually a lot of times when we tap here, I'll put the sound of ah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Any little thing that you feel like supports you while you're doing this, and that's a good sound to use anyway.
Yeah.
That'll help also the vagus nerve stimulation, and that also helps with peristaltic movements of the intestinal tract for elimination.
Yeah. So the flow pattern would be here and then under, and this would be the last one. Those 3 in a row, Pam?
Just those 3 in a row, yeah.
Awesome.
And we've got some great comments. I love this. So Christopher is saying, he says it's a silly song. It's a song, silly. He was giving me a hard time, but it just made me, while we were doing it, I thought of Richard Simmons. I couldn't help it.
Right. It's so fun. Wow.
And then he says there was not very nice person at the store earlier, and he tried to tap on him, but he wasn't caring for it.
So here's the thing: you only tap your own body. You're not. Well, I mean, I guess it depends who your partner is, but not a stranger. And so once again, I love these simple things that we can do anywhere. Another really simple one is if you're standing, you just bounce your knees and shake your body like your noodle. And this is opening up our energy flow pathways in our body. And if you like jumping, you can add jumping to it.
That's very good. That even helps with balance.
I think if I do that, I'm going to shake my camera too much.
Right. And once again, or just shake. Now, here's the thing. Being in front of the computer, as much as people are, we really need to be mindful of moving our body to increase our blood flow. If we're sitting too long, we're actually not getting enough blood flow to our whole body, but especially to our brain. And getting up for a minute or two and shaking and jumping, or any of these things that we've been playing together today, is a self-care routine that you will feel more energized and productive, and you're increasing your blood flow and your oxygen flow to your brain.
I like this too. Larry says, jumping on a trampoline.
Yeah, that's very good.
That's great, yeah.
And then once again, when you stop, what do you feel in your body? What do you notice?
Blood flow, tingling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely feel it in your hands especially. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. So anybody comment on the things that we're sharing. If there's something you really like, let us know. And then we know as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're trying these, tell us which ones you can feel a difference with, which, what it feels like, what your body feels like, and just how it's shifting for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for some other things that might help also stimulate the brain is to do things differently. In other words, if you're right-handed, use your left hand to eat with or to brush your teeth with.
Yeah.
A little different from one side to the other. And just try writing with your opposite hand, and just get the feel of that. As you're doing that, you're creating new neural pathways in the brain plasticity. So very, very neat and interesting to do. Kind of do the things you're not good at with your other hand.
Yeah, and you know what we're finding so often, people are declining because they're not like we need to stimulate our brain. And with everything that we're doing today, did you making clear that everybody knows that your brain can actually get better as you get older.
Exactly.
You don't have to decline. That is something many people have accepted, but your brain is always making new connections. You can regenerate brain cells. We're not stuck with what's there. The more you're increasing blood flow, the more you're testing out new things and challenging your brain, the younger and more flexible your brain is getting. And I hope that's just a huge takeaway to anybody listening, and share with any of your friends that are like, oh, I'm declining because I'm getting older. Guess what? We don't have to decline like that.
That's right. That's right. And keep in mind, you guys, even though we're not necessarily, focusing on meditation right now in these exercises, you can always come to any of these with mindfulness, and then you can always practice the meditation. And for those of us, who have kind of read some of the research or follow Dr. Joe Dispenza, the research is so powerful on what meditation will do for your brain, and just having that shift into the different brain waves is really powerful. So if you haven't started, a habit or at least fairly regularly practicing meditation, I really encourage you to do that, because it starts things in your mind and in your body that it's hard to duplicate really any other way. Now, these exercises are really going to help you with that. And that's kind of the purpose behind them. So if you're someone who's tried meditation and you're like, oh, it didn't really work because I was thinking the whole time, just be assured you can do some of these exercises first and then try to do it. And it may be a little bit easier. And by the way, you do think that's part of why we do meditation, is so that we can shut that thinking part of our brains off for a little while. And so if you're thinking, just kind of let the thoughts go by and don't worry about it. That's perfectly normal.
Just pretend like you're a boat going downstream, and don't hang on to that boat or that thought. Just let it go on by.
Yeah.
And you get fewer and fewer boats, fewer and fewer thoughts. That way you can center your energy back to you, because all day we're putting our energy out here for everything else that we do, other people, work, etc. And that's fine, but it's time to bring that energy, your energy, back to you, to yourself here, and it's going to power you. And it's very relaxing for the nervous system. It's going to take you from that fast response of stress into the parasympathetic nervous system. That's very calming, very relaxing, very distressing, going to decrease your cortisol levels. Very important for being present to every thought, because most people think the same thoughts every day. They just keep rolling them in their mind, and they're not even aware of it. This gives you time and a chance to sit down and look. In fact, my dad would always say, Everett, you got to slow. That's my name. First name. You've got to slow down. So slow down and be aware of, so you can hear yourself think. He'd say, slow down so you can hear yourself think. But people don't do that. So that's a good time to slow down and hear yourself think.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I like this too. Christopher is saying combine it with a playlist of music. I love that. And also, you can just put on a playlist of music that you really like, and even that will shift your state. If you have one favorite song and you just have to get up and boogie to it every time you hear it, then play that song and get up and boogie to it.
Yes.
Like once during your day. If it's just one of those days and you're like, I can't even remember all the exercises, I'm too stressed out, there's no way I can meditate, just put on your song, and boogie for a little bit. And you'll be amazed what even that will do.
Yeah, because once again, that movement of dancing, it's opening up our energy flow pathways in our body. Our meridians, we have 3 meridians that run through each arm, through our head, our core, and our legs. Those are literally energy flow pathways. Kind of like if you imagine we have blood vessels, we have those energy pathways. So getting up and dancing, it's one of the best ways to really increase that energy in your body and let go of tension you've been holding. So such a fabulous suggestion, Pam. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm a boogier, so.
Yeah. And it shows because you're always so vibrant. And it does. It makes if we get that, we're not just a physical body. We have this energy field around us. When we feel good, it vibrates out and people feel our energy. And so this just helps us be able to support that healthy energy in our body and around our body that people are feeling.
Right. And you can do that so easily with your kids. I mean, what kid doesn't love to dance?
Mhm.
You know, I mean, put on their favorite song and dance with them. It's so
Yeah.
good for them too.
Yes, we used to, when my oldest daughter was little, we would have disco Friday night, and we'd put on her disco
Love that.
and put on 70s music.
That's so fun.
It was our Friday night routine.
I love it. We used to do it a very adapted version in our car, and we thought it was like kind of a fun game. So we would turn on some of our favorite songs, especially if we were on road trips, and we would just like boogie out in the car, you know. And people, like when you're passing people, they're watching you like, what are they doing?
But I'm sure you made their day, right? Just by moving, like, oh, we could do that too.
Right. Yeah. Make it fun. Have fun with it.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out another simple movement we can do, because we know our gut is our second brain and how important our gut health is. And so one of the recommendation exercises that I do every morning is you want to be about 3 fingers right under your belly button and make fists with your hands. And you want to tap right under, so that point, 3 fingers under your belly button. When you stimulate this part of your body, you're actually stimulating right under your belly button. You're increasing your immune system, your serotonin, and your dopamine. So you want to bounce your knees and then make fists with your hand. You're going to tap in the same spot. If it's too much to bounce your knees at the beginning, you can just tap, but make sure wherever you're tapping, it's the same spot. Right?
And again, don't do this like hard. Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Do it gently.
Just want to bounce your knees and tap. And what you're doing is you're tapping into your vagus nerve, which is connected to our brainstem, and it helps to turn off the stress response in the body. So as you're tapping here, now if you want to go to the next level, you want to turn your head side to side. And that's relaxing the brainstem. So I like to go a little faster. If you want to go a little faster, you can. And let's do this for a minute. So you're bouncing your knees. You're tapping right under your belly button. Make sure you're breathing and let go of any thoughts in your head. You're bringing your energy down to your abdomen. For our intestines to be healthy, they need to be warm and flexible. So you're creating a natural state of balance in your body of a cool head, warm abdomen. This is supporting, once again, 80% of our immune system is in our intestines, 90% of our serotonin, and 50% of our dopamine. So this exercise done daily for a couple minutes will really support digestive health, which is helping brain health.
Well, and I like that you bring that up too, because it's the summer season and we're drinking a lot of cold drinks to stay cool.
Yeah, and then you just pause and check in with your body again. Notice, does your abdomen feel a little bit warmer? And is your head actually a little bit cooler? So you're creating that energy flow within your body, and we are meant to, do we make better decisions with a hot head or a cool head?
Cool head.
Yeah. So it's creating a cool head.
Christy.
Yeah. And even 5 or 10 minutes of that is very valuable. In my training, anytime anybody was concerned about anything, they'd say, just go tap. That was the solution. You just go tap.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
A little goes a long way too.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying you can do it sporadically throughout the day. It doesn't have to be a long session when you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Hop up for a few minutes, do it, and then go right back to what you were doing.
Yeah. And once again, your kids can be incorporated with this. If they want to play along, have them. I never force kids to do anything around this because you want it to be fun and playful. But kids generally love to participate in these types of activities too.
Yeah, I love that. And one of the things that I used to do a lot, and I don't do it currently because I have a little bit different setup at my desk, but I used to have a yoga ball that I would sit on a lot. And so you can bounce on your yoga ball if you have one. Mm-hmm. Pull that out. If you're working at your desk, sit there for a few minutes and bounce on it. Mm-hmm. And you'll be surprised at even what that little bit of motion will do and how that will help just to keep that blood flowing a little bit instead of just sitting sedentary all through the day. but don't fall off your ball. I know this happens.
Well, and it's also working on balance.
Yes,
Very much.
it definitely uses your core muscles, no question.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And I think that's something, and that's why I really liked your balancing exercise at the beginning, is that we're not always aware of how important we need to be aware of our balance. And even if that exercise was challenging, starting to incorporate that every day, your balance is going to get better because your balance is connected to your brain.
Oh, very, very true.
Right. And so, yeah, it seems so simple.
Do a heel toe walk where you'll just stand straight and put your heel in front of your toe on your right foot and just switch and do it again. Heel to toe. And that takes a little bit of balance and a little bit of coordination. So
Yeah.
that's a good one to practice.
Yeah. Then can you go backwards?
Going backwards would be even
Yeah,
better.
as we're doing this
Okay.
frame, I'm like, okay, go forwards.
Yeah, I was
Then
trying
you
to
go
do that.
backwards.
There you go.
I feel like I'm on a balance beam.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely harder than it sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anybody asks you to do this after you've been drinking,
You got to be able to do it now.
forget about it.
Right.
Forget about it now. Forget it. Yeah. Practice.
And so once again, if anybody has any questions on, certain things, feel free to put them in the chat so that we can answer those as well. If you do have questions on brain health or other fun ways to stimulate the brain.
Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to share too, kind of going back just a little bit to, the meditation, is just the idea of self-care in general. Mm-hmm. I think that this is something that's been overlooked a lot for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I think that we're really in a time where it's more important maybe than ever. Mm-hmm. And so, if you can't remember all of these techniques, go back and watch the video and jot some of them down and practice them one at a time, so that you can do them quickly and easily. Mm-hmm. And it'll start to become, you'll notice that it starts to become kind of second nature. But when you're doing that, just kind of have the mindset that this is you time, that this is, you're taking care of you so that you can take care of the other people in your life too. Mm-hmm. And it's so important. I think one of the things kind of along with that is having some daily routines, like, if you keep like a gratitude journal and you just write down a few things, and if you do the priming exercise I showed you, that's kind of a part of it, but write down a few things that you're grateful for each day, and then write down a few things that you are like proud of that you've done in your life, that make you feel good about where you are, where you've come, just allow yourself to feel good for those moments,
Yeah, it's so powerful. And what's so fun is you can take those things, those thoughts that you have while you're moving.
Yeah, that's right.
That doesn't even have to be separate, but as you're tapping here, you can be focusing on your gratitude.
Yes, exactly.
Be thinking about those things that, like the acts of kindness you've done, and allowing yourself to feel, something that people don't always realize. And I'm going to come a little closer and sit down. But
yeah, sure.
People don't always realize that we don't acknowledge our own self. That we're so busy like thinking this person's amazing and this person's amazing. And we don't even see the value that we are, or the energy that we are on the planet, and how we're contributing.
Very good.
Very true.
And so when we take that time of even writing a list of things that you have done for others, that in how you felt doing those things for others, and then how they felt. And if you can take one of those a day, even if you're doing it in the shower, right? And you allow yourself, literally putting your hands on your heart and feeling that experience and feeling it flow from your heart into every cell of your body, you are literally changing the chemical structure of your body, and you're training your brain to focus on acknowledging like who you are in life.
Yeah, I really love that you say that, because I think it helps us to connect to our spirits, and also to realize that we're more than these physical bodies. I mean, I will say, when I'm in the shower, I love to like thank my body, be like, I'll be singing. I'll be like, thank you, lungs, for giving me air. I mean, I know it sounds.
Yeah, thank every part of your body, right?
Yeah. And I'm just like thankful, that like everything works the way it's supposed to. And, and just being silly about it, and just, you have to laugh, but at the same time,
Right.
It makes you feel good.
Yes, yes. And I love doing body tapping, too, where you're tapping here and you're like, thanking, sending love to your heart and your lungs, right? And tapping your kidneys. Oh my gosh, kidneys, I thank you so much.
Yeah. And thank your cells.
Yes, and you want to tap everywhere and thank everything. And I think you're bringing up, Pam, is so important because we're literally in partnership with our body.
Yes.
If we get that, there's some part of us that's non-physical, our soul or our spirit, but that can't be here unless we have this physical body.
Exactly.
And so we're in partnership.
That's the vehicle for.
That's the vehicle.
Right. Driving in this lifetime. And so we want to nourish it, and send kind thoughts. And when our body feels connected, it's going to feel better and it's going to perform better too. And so if anybody out there has any limiting thoughts about their body, this is an invitation to let those go and start putting this practice in that Pam mentioned.
Well, and I think, with that, it's learning too to catch ourselves when we have those thoughts and just be like, okay, I had that thought and let it go. We don't actually have to listen to it. Mm-hmm. We don't have to believe it or hang on to it. We can just see it. And like Everett was talking about, like the boat on the river, just watch the boat pass by. Mm-hmm. That was a thought, whatever,
And remember that our thoughts are electric. Mm-hmm. Our heart and emotions are magnetic. And when you meditate and connect the two, you're getting a very powerful connection within yourself. So that's why you can really start to change your energy, because watch this. We have all these chemical receptors, hormones, chemoreceptors on our cell membranes. But you know what we have more of and that are more powerful? We have receptors for light and energy. Yes, receptors for light and energy. That's your thoughts. Mm-hmm. That's your emotions. So take the time, do the meditation. I like entering into the meditation with a breathing exercise. Mm. And a breathing exercise, which I'll even have my patients do, because they'll come in kind of flustered and they've been here and working in traffic and everything. So I'll just have them pause for a second. And real simple, you can do this yourself, is just inhale for a count of 3, hold that breath for a count of 3, and slowly exhale for a count of 3. After you get good at doing that, you can work it up to a count of 7. But that really focuses all of your energy back out here off the traffic and what happened here or there at the store at work, back into you.
Yeah.
You. Oh, yeah. That's your energy.
Yeah. Dr. Everett, do you have a practice that you like for yourself that you do in the morning?
Yes. The other thing I'll do is I'll do, I think it's a guy calling is ringing the bell. Mm. Just go like this, and you kind of are just, hit your back and your side. And that gets the motion in the spine and the facet joints, get that little twisting action. Then another one I'll do is just straight bands like that flexibility. The spine.
How many do you recommend?
Oh, about 10. And then I'll do my head one way, the neck, back the other way. And get the rotation again in the spine and in those facet joints.
And just 10 on each side could be a really good practice?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and I love that you bring up the point about the energy connection too, because I think it's important to remember that our energy is being emitted from our body. So, when we're talking about changing our energy and having more positive energy, that doesn't just impact us. I mean, yes, we feel better, but it definitely impacts the people around us, because that same energy is coming out of our bodies and other people are picking that up. So the more that we're doing this, the more other people are actually going to feel better as well, which I think is just remarkable.
Oh, yes.
And Pam, that goes back to what you were really talking about, self-care, is that when we take that time to feel good.
Yeah.
Right? That feeling good is one of the best things you can do for other people, because when you feel good, you literally got to get that energy, your energy flows through your body, goes around your body, what some people call your aura or your biofield or your energy field or your energy body. And people pick up on that vibration. So when you feel good, you're bringing in that energy that's contagious. It's actually flowing to other people.
Absolutely.
Isn't that just so beautiful? And here's the interesting thing too. If we start bringing in things like the law of attraction, that energy is going to flow out, and we're all energy. You're going to connect with people in a similar vibration that have a similar frequency. And so when you feel good, you're just going to notice that, like, gosh, everybody around me is so nice.
And energy from
Yeah, I mean, it really does. I mean, and at first you'll be surprised. You'll think, what's going on? You know, what, you know, why am I attracting these different things? You know, why am I seeing more positive things happen? And it really is like we're sort of calling things into our lives with our energy. And most of the time it's totally unconscious.
Yeah. And so the more we can be conscious about what our energy is, you can choose to create what you want, right? Focusing on knowing what you want, and you're actually putting things in place to make sure your energy is coming from a place of feeling good. And so you're training your brain. And that's so powerful, is that this, you know, learning to be aware of our thoughts and the energy we're putting out, that's brain health.
Very much so.
That's not normally taught.
Absolutely.
Also relays then into body health too. That relays into even body health. Very good.
So beautiful. And I know Larry was talking about the importance of hydration, and, you know, absolutely. I know we all agree with that as well, that we've got to be hydrated because we are water. You know, you say 75% water. So key is hydration and making sure you have whatever you do, you know, that you feel like you have a water that really gets into your cells and hydrates you.
Absolutely. Especially in the summertime, especially when it's really hot. Great point.
Yeah.
Well, and along with that is the nutrition, you know, what we're putting in our bodies. And I know, Dr. Everett, you've been showing this a lot with people, especially right now. Keep the sugar at a minimum. Really cut the sugar out and focus on, you know, what are foods that you love that are healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's suppress the immune system. And one other thing science has been really showing is that the fructose corn syrup is very damaging, not only to the immune system, but what it does, it hides and covers and camouflages the virus, the coronavirus, so your immune system can't find it to even attack it. And you've got to cut out that fructose corn syrup. It's in all those flavored drinks and stuff. So it's very important, some of the latest information.
Do you have a favorite, like, breakfast, Pam, that's like an energizing, that you feel fuels your body?
Well, so I usually start my day with an apple. And then I love to have a smoothie, and my smoothies are usually a combination of fruit and then like some kind of greens like kale. I love celery always, usually some spinach. And then I use a plant protein powder that I put in as well. It's plant-based, and so it's like peas and hemp and stuff like that. And those are like my two morning favorites. What about you?
A lot of times I'll do a smoothie very similar to yours. But sometimes I love having like a big salad for breakfast. I'm a big fan of eating foods that you don't normally eat for breakfast. Or else I'll have like soup. And I actually love soup in the summer. I know it might be, you know, they say when you eat hot things, when it's hot, it actually cools your body.
Interesting.
And so that's why in a lot of countries like India, where they eat hot, that spice, it's hot, but it will cool their body as well. And so I encourage people to just eat foods that are not, like, if we think about generally, breakfast foods aren't that healthy. And then you wonder how anybody has energy if we're eating things like donuts and waffles and bagels, all this like just carbs that don't really nourish the body. And so those are a few of my favorites. What about you, Dr. Everett?
What I'll have in the morning is I'll have some green tea. and I'll put a spoonful of coconut oil in it.
Mm.
I want those oils, the medium chain triglycerides, to stimulate my brain cells, and it's energy for the brain cells. And it also helps with endurance for the body.
Yeah.
So this will be basically what I'll have in the morning, and kind of do a intermittent fasting, and maybe not eat till lunch.
Yeah. That's a really good question. Can you do the tea with the coconut oil and you're still intermittent fasting?
Yes, as long as you don't raise your blood sugar levels.
Okay.
You don't spike your blood sugar level. Very good question. Because it's the spiking of the blood sugar level that will take you out. And actually, the coconut oil. Also, there's ghee. Ghee is very good. Ghee helps to detoxify and pull some of the poisons and toxins out of your body. Is another good one to have with that tea, or you can do it with your coffee. It's called bulletproof coffee. But yes, do not break your intermittent fasting, because it won't raise your blood sugar levels. Good question.
Yeah. Do you have any other tips that help people? Because we know that intermittent fasting time is actually fabulous for the brain. And I love what you're sharing about you could have your tea with the oil. So that feels like people are they're nourishing their brain, but they're energizing their body a little bit, right? You know, that healthy fat is so important. And do you have any other tips for people to make that morning time intermittent fasting like easier, more enjoyable?
Well, certainly having herbal teas and doing the coconut oil is going to probably be about the best.
Yeah, I love that.
Get to lunch, at lunchtime, and extend the fasting time, the benefits. But yeah, fasting is so energizing. It is so health and invigorating to your cells, tissues, and restorative to your cells and tissues. It's just good for just about every disease that people might have, and problems they want to resolve, repair to the tissues, and also preventing and slowing down the aging process. Very, very good. And there's times to eat, and there's times to fast. You don't fast every day, or all the time, and then you eat. So you do it with knowledge and for your.
And what is the window you like when you're doing your intermittent fasting days? Do you like to eat around 11 or 12 and then to be done by 6, or what is the hours?
When I intermittent fasting, I'll usually every week do a day and a half.
Okay.
Just routinely every week, and then the other days I'll go till lunch from the night before, and once in a while I might go for a 24-hour from dinner to dinner.
Yeah, and I was thinking a starting point for a lot of people could be, you could go till 10 or 11, and then would you recommend maybe being done eating by around 6?
Oh, that's a good time.
Is that kind of a good time for people that are just kind of getting used to this intermittent fasting idea?
Yeah, just push your. Here's the big thing nowadays. Everybody's snacking all the time, and you start snacking at breakfast, in between meals, and lunch, and then ice cream or something before going to bed. So if we just cut it down to like we used to have in the 70s when we were home with mom and dad, we had 3 meals, and you ate at 3 meals, and that was it.
Yeah.
Okay? So it didn't have all the snack stuff all day long. I can do at work now. And so if you just cut that down, and then have your last meal, let's say 6 or 7 at night, and then push your breakfast back a little bit later, and where you're actually skipping that breakfast, and you're then getting more than 12, 17, 18 hours in fasting. So that's a very easy way to do it. And just kind of start out with baby steps. You don't need to start out with a 3-day water fast.
Well, and I was going to say, one of the things you talk about is starting out at about 12 hours, right? So maybe it's just from 8 to 8, for instance, and kind of let yourself adjust to that, and then go a little bit longer, maybe go 14 hours. Correct? Yeah,
just kind of take it baby steps. And they're all incredibly having benefits on your body. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think, it's always important to note too, everybody's bodies are a little bit different. And certainly, if you're someone who's struggled at all with, eating disorders, you should always consult an expert before you start something like a fasting routine. It's very, very important. A lot of critical health issues can come, to the surface. So just want to make sure to address that as well. But this has been such an incredible time. I am so grateful to both of you for everything that you've shared with us. We are coming up on our hour. We're right at our hour now. But it's been so much fun. And it's been so fun to have everyone on here leaving their comments. So many great comments. And if there's anything you guys want to just kind of share as we're wrapping up here, please do so.
Yeah, and I'm wondering who feels, if you've been doing this with us, do you feel a little more relaxed than when you got on?
Sure.
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, and I feel more relaxed. I was like out driving in traffic, and it's like rush hour, and I'm trying to, drive 10 miles, and it takes me half an hour, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, where is my time going? I'm like literally running in the house, to get here in time.
Yeah, one of the things that people can do is they can, like, if you have a business meeting or you have a Zoom meeting, start with a little bit of movement. Everybody needs it. And so these are things that if there's anything you like, we can start incorporating that. We're just making movement, just a way of being in our work, in our play, and in every aspect of our life.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Life is movement.
And Larry's saying he feels energized.
Energized. Yeah. I love it.
That's the point. And, doing this kind of stuff at night is really important. I recommend people doing something that clears their energy before they go to bed so you sleep peacefully. And
absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much again for being here. This has been a lot of fun. We'll have to do another one. I know we will. But we'll have to do one sooner rather than later. And thank you, everyone, for being here with us. As always, such a joy and such a pleasure to be here with you, and have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you, Pam.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.